Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Look on the screen, look on the screen. This lady is looking so frustrated, and I can totally understand why. Going to do this quick video. I'm going to talk about an aspect of student loan debt nobody talks about. And what I'm referring to is when individuals have student loans in the past, and you're thinking that, hey, it was for school to get your education and to help, pay your bills to get you through while you attend school. Paying incidentals, things like that. Your food, maybe helping toward your rent, or the dormitory, the whole 9 yard, books, you name it. So some siblings were speaking, and they, kind of caught them in a moment, and they were talking about, the student loan debt. You go to school, you go to get this degree, to get this job, and then you look up, you went to school, you got the degree, but you don't have the job, and all you have is this payment over your head. And then you already know once you go into defaults in your credit, then you can't get a job. It's a mess. But here's another factor that they discussed with me, and I thought it was very interesting, was the fact that a lot of times when people get these student loans, especially when they are from maybe poor or working class backgrounds, and sometimes even middle class, then guess what? Other family members have also benefited from the student loan that the student themselves are responsible for. What do I mean? These siblings were having a conversation about student loans, and they were like, wow, just the countless times. And I was like, wow, how many times? The countless times that they got the student loans, and they had to take those checks right back home to their parents. Yeah. And it's like, was your parent cashing the check for you? No, no. They were giving the whole check to the parent. And I was just like, what? Giving the entire check to the parents. And I thought about this girl I went to school with at the university, and she was complaining that she didn't have any money to buy books. We all had a class, I think it was a psychology class. And I was like, well, you said you got a loan, so use that. And I remember her saying she was so depressed. She was like, yeah, I did get a student loan check and I have a part-time job. She said, but I had to send a check home to my mother to help with my younger sister. And she had no money. She had just gotten a job, part-time job, but you got to work 2 weeks and get a paycheck. And she needed her book. So we're like, hey, let's get a used book, for class. And so me and another girl, my father was a person that used to, he makes things happen. And I get that from him. We gonna get you a book. We had, I remember I had a new books for that class, and it was one book that she had to get, and I said, oh, we got to do something. So long story short, me and another girl, we pitched in, and we got her the book for the class, and everything was cool. Matter of fact, she made a better grade than I did. Okay, but yeah, and I thought about it. I was like, wow, that was at one person. And now, hearing some siblings talk about it, the many times they had to get the checks and bring those checks back home. So basically, you were in student loan debt, and the student loan that you received, the money was going back home to parents. One person said the father had passed away. I'm assuming there obviously wasn't any life insurance. So what happened? Those two girls were both going to school and getting student loan debt and having to send that money back home to the mother to help pay the bills because the father passed. And I thought to myself, coming from humble beginnings of working class people and just want to try to build a life for yourself, the unfairness for the system that we were taught and taught to believe in, it just turn around and let you down. Because fast forward, if a parent has to rely on a child's student loan check, there are no assets. There are no assets to pass down, let's say a business or a portfolio. There's nothing there. So you're starting from scratch. Okay? You are starting from scratch. So If you had to help with a student loan, how in the heck are you supposed to get a leg up in this economy when the lie that we were told about trying to make something happen, that lie was told because it's not happening. How in the heck are you supposed to get a leg up in this economy when now, after all the layoffs, they're saying that the year 2026 is going to basically be a hiring freeze? Companies aren't hiring. All you've done is just compound a problem and made it worse. Yeah. All that has happened is a problem has been compounded. So how do you work your way out of poverty? How do you work your way up to the next level from working class to middle class or middle class to wealthy? How is that going to happen? Being that the dream is nothing but it looks like to me like a scheme, a university scheme to keep those folks employed. That's all it is. And then they wonder why. Well, why is the enrollment down? Because it's not a good investment. And to think people have, I said, wow, this just compounds it. And it all starts where? Trying to achieve the American dream. So things like this, I doubt hearing from three people, they're the only three that this has happened to. More than likely, it's probably happened to a lot of people, or a lot of people may have the same experience, but no one's talking about it. Student loans have actually put food on the table for a family. It has saved somebody from being evicted or losing a house, making rent or mortgage payment. And you're thinking, it's okay, I'm going to get this degree. And then once I get that degree, because I'm working hard, I'll be able to pay back this debt and uplift my family. And look at where we are now. Look at where we are now. Got money for wars, but can't feed the poor. Can't do student loan forgiveness for those who really need it. Look, I said, wow. And then you wonder why people give up hope. When there's nothing to believe in society, then that's when it really gets dangerous. You want to bet? I saw a video, a young man, looks very intelligent from my community, and he was saying he has this degree, he's got this degree, yada, yada, yada. And it's like he was sitting in a very nice apartment. It looks upscale to me, not just a run, average apartment. Got the degree, lost a job, can't find a job, educated, now losing the apartment, getting evicted, and what are the odds? Losing the apartment, and he says the vehicle is up for repossession as well. And you wonder why people are hurt, angry, and disappointed, have lost hope. This is crazy. It is psychologically dehumanizing. You're going to be looking at a whole lot of depressed people, and the resources that we need to help them are not going to be there. More than likely, they'll be denied. But yeah, student loan debt. This is a part a lot of people don't talk about. How some people have got those loans and then it's helped pull their families through, and then you muddle through all of that, through all this debt and working and juggling jobs and loans, and then you got the paper. Whew, mission accomplished, but then what good is it when there's no return on it? Who would thought we're a place for people to have bachelor's degrees and masters, and they're putting in applications not to be a manager, but to work at fast food, make those burgers, pizzas, and tacos. Going into debt. And some of the money was, I couldn't believe it. They were sending whole checks home, getting the student loans and sending the checks home. The girl that told me about the first one, she was like, sometimes she was just eating snacks out of the vending machine. So getting a student loan check and sitting at home for her mom and younger sister. There's a lot of people who can't sleep at night. You think so with all the stress and worry? thinking you were going to get a leg up, and then out of all you just have more debt and stuck in poverty. So yeah, this right here, I thought about it. This may be a common phenomenon, it's just that people don't discuss it. Oh yeah, it's send that check home for the parents so they can go ahead and take care of some things. So basically, students are having to carry their parents through or parent through via a student loan. Wow, it's really sad. And then the whole trick of it all is to then stand and then you look at what's happened. Got the degree of the diploma, and it's useless because you can't. But besides the satisfaction of a major achievement, but you can't even earn any money with it. So much for the American dream, and that's I guess that's all it was is a dream because you wake up, the reality is different. But again, think about it. How many people, I wonder, have used those checks to support a family back home? Wow, it's crazy to me. The money was used to take care of business affairs to carry the household. Let me know what you all think. Is this your first time hearing about this? I'm starting to think it may be a common thread that many people don't want to talk about. They may be too embarrassed. But well, just knowing humans the way we are, human behavior, it wouldn't surprise me that maybe a lot of people have suffered this, have experienced this. And then you sit back and you're just like, wow, it's just another problem to think, wow, how much money had to go to take care of a family that's not fair to a student. Because more than likely the father didn't plan or he walked away. Life in this country is getting harder and harder, and there is no sympathy, no empathy. They gave you a dream. Hey, at least the universities got paid. And now the reality. You wake up and it's a nightmare. So let me know what you all think about this. You want, like I said, someone tell me, oh, I can't sleep, and it's like things like this going on. You start, and then when you're not working, you got more time in your hand, and you're like, what? You look at what all happened, it just makes it worse. Anyway, let me know what you all think. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share. And what's going on in the country, this is not sustainable. It has to end sometime, somewhere, and I'm out.